Hello Mango Squad, today let's talk a little bit about property law before I tell you a fascinating story about a spooky house, alright? Okay, good. Before we begin, please note this is American law, but laws might be similar if you are in another country. Okay, to begin, I assume most of you either bought a home or want to buy one in the future. If that is the case, then listen well. Generally, a buyer of a home must exercise caution by finding out if a home has any obvious defects, such as a cracked wall or pipe. However, a seller must tell the buyer about hidden defects they know about, and that no one is likely to ever find out about until it's too late. Failure to do so means the buyer might be able to ask for a refund on their down payment for the home. In property law, the most famous example of a hidden defect is the story of a legally haunted home. This is perhaps one of the most awesome cases I've ever read in law school, so get ready for a juicy story. This is the infamous case of Stambovsky versus Ackley. A woman named Helen Ackley and her family reported to basically everyone who would listen that their home was haunted by lots of ghosts. On multiple occasions, Ackley reported to Reader's Digest and a local newspaper that her house was haunted. One of her stories was that one ghost would wake her daughter, Cynthia, each morning by shaking her bed. She claimed that when spring break arrived, Cynthia proclaimed loudly that she did not have to wake up early, and she would like to sleep in. Her bed did not shake the next morning. Spooky, right? By doing this, the house became known as the haunted house to the local community. Unsurprisingly, when Ackley tried to sell her home, no one in the community wanted to buy her haunted house. Later, someone from outside the community named Jeffrey entered into a contract to buy the home and paid $32,000 as down payment on the home. Ackley did not tell Jeffrey that her house was widely considered to be haunted by the local community. When Jeffrey heard from someone else that the house had a reputation for being haunted, he demanded a refund on his down payment because he had no way of knowing the home was supposedly haunted, but Ackley refused to give him the refund. So Jeffrey sued to get his money back. So what did the court decide? The court basically started off by saying that because Ackley told both the local news and a national publication that her house was haunted, she was legally prohibited from denying the presence of ghosts in her home, and as a matter of law, her house was legally haunted. Because the house was legally haunted, the value of the home was determined to be greatly reduced. The court also stated that there was no way Jeffrey as a buyer could have known the home was haunted, and that as a result of the haunting, the house was worth less than it would have been if it wasn't. Jeffrey never saw the ghosts, and no one told him before he bought the home that the house was haunted, and no reasonable person would even have thought to ask whether or not the home was haunted because that's not even what you think about when buying a house. Therefore the court concluded that 1. The home was haunted. 2. The defect was hidden because Jeffrey would have had no way of knowing that his home was haunted, and 3. Jeffrey was entitled to get a refund on the $32,000 down payment. And that was the case of the legally haunted house. So what did we learn? If you buy a home, it's your responsibility to find out if there is anything wrong with it. However, if there was no way you could reasonably have found out something was wrong, such as the house being haunted, then you might be able to get a refund on your down payment. Remember this: if you plan on buying or selling a home, it might come in handy. Here's a quick shout out to my Patreons. And thank you so much for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoyed this spooky law video. Stay safe.